8, public comment. We'll now provide up to 3 minutes for any individual participating with our meeting to offer public comment for the board's consideration. We would ask that you identify yourself prior to offering the comment. Once you begin speaking, the clock will start running.
Mark, this is Kristen.
Kristen?
Hi,
Lordy?
yes.
The floor is yours for 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. I have a comment that I think I would like to make at the end, but there's a short item I'd like to mention at the beginning of the meeting, which has to do with the new business for the Board of Review, vacancy, resignation, and vacancy. I just wanted to notice that the Board of Review members all appear to be male for the Assessment Board of Review. So I'd just like to notice that as we are in an era of inclusivity and diversity, and who knows, these things happen. I don't know who has applied to be on it, but it would certainly be welcome to see diverse representation, given that we don't have an incredibly diverse community to my knowledge. But if we could add women on it, that might, I just wanted to mention that I thought of that today when I was thinking about the Board of Review. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sure I appreciate that comment, Kristen. I don't think I appreciate that at all. This board in no way ever does anything like that. And that's uncalled for in every way. We don't treat anybody any different, regardless of gender, and that's not appropriate.
I have a follow-up that I'd like to say.
You'll have time.
Okay. There's no accusation being made in my comment.
Well, I'm going to tell you that the best person for the job will get the job, regardless of the gender, and I don't appreciate that kind of comment at all. We're not here for that.
I'd like to say that my comment was interrupted. I didn't, and that it's not right, Aaron, for you to not allow me to make a comment. So you can not appreciate, you can disagree, but you did not allow me the floor to make a comment.
I have not removed you from the floor, Kristen.
I didn't say you removed me. You're interrupting me from making my comment.
Yes, I am.
And I would like to complete that comment by saying there is no accusation included. There is simply a noticing and a comment that there's no accusation in it. There's only the noticing that it is a male board, and that if there is an opening, that, can we include everybody? I'm not suggesting that the board is practicing any behavior that is uncommon at all.
The comment itself has inference towards it. It does. So, yes, it does. You are trying to advocate for a female on the board, regardless of whether or not she is the best qualified or not. That is not appropriate.
Well, you can share that that's not appropriate, Aaron. That is my observation and comment.
I just did.
I'm free to make it.
That's fine. I'm just telling you where I stand on that one. And I'm going to put it right out there and make sure it's in the minutes.
Comments are duly noted and response duly noted. Kristen, may I respond to you relative to recent applicants?
Yes.
Just for the record, recent applicants have been male. The postings will attract responses from across the township. That's our hope. There is no intent to not respond to people's petition to be on the Board of Review. We can encourage people to participate, but they will make their choices to participate, and we are selecting from the candidates that have responded to our notices for vacancies on the board. But your remarks are in the record, and Mr. Janke's comments are in the record as well.
And thank you for clarifying that, Mark. We did in our chat today ask the question of whether or not residency is required in order to be on the Board of Review, and I think you are going to check into that.
I'll have a very definitive answer for you in the very near future, probably by week's end or Monday at the latest.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. comments under public comment from people participating with our meeting. We will provide an opportunity prior to adjournment for public comment at the end of our meeting.
This is Cindy, Cindy Barth. I
Yes,
would
Cindy.
like to know what is being done about looking into Osceola having its own Zoom program and not using UPEA Houghton's cam.
Thank you very much for the comment. Does anyone else wish to offer comment under public comment at this time?
Yes, I still thought I was waiting for a comment or an answer. But if I'm not getting an answer, then I wanted to also say that I appreciate hearing people's name after they speak so I can tell who's speaking, because otherwise I'm looking at a dog and two telephones. And one telephone, I think, is 482-8596. And I think that's Mark and Dawn's. But I'm not sure who the telephone is, 482-3200, because when Aaron was interrupting Kristen, it went back and forth between Aaron and the other two phones that I just mentioned.
We will do our best to continue to identify speakers if the identity is not known to the listener. If you are having difficulty, this is Mark, identifying who is speaking, we'll gladly clarify for you. During public comment, we listen for input. It doesn't mean that the comments will necessarily receive a response at that time, but because you raised the subject again, Cindy, let me just add a final comment under this section in that the board will be looking at all options going forward as it prepares its budgets for the coming year, and it has been suggested on a number of occasions that we look into obtaining Zoom capability for our own use at the township office. Because it has been raised a number of times, it is on the list of items for consideration.
Thank you very much. I'd also like to say that as making public comments myself, I appreciate that I'm not interrupted during my comment now and in the future, because it's quite disconcerting to be interrupted during when you're making a public comment. So thank you for not interrupting me making a public comment. I also wanted to say I appreciate seeing Krista because I can tell when she's speaking, and I can also, besides seeing her, hear her say her name at the end. So thank you very much. I'm finished.
Thank you. Stated a moment ago, we will provide an opportunity at the end of the meeting for public comment as well. Please note the time, Ms. Gardner, it is 6:38 when public comment concluded.
Got it.
Packet relative to the assessor. The assessor has
Andy, I don't know if I want to add that in part.
No, I don't think I
Sarah, I just want to let you know, I met with Bob on,
is possible.
probably need to do it in a fair manner that would.
That's the gist of your motion, Mr.
that
Worm?
is the motion.
Is there support for Mr. Worm's motion? Indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Is there any other business to come before the town? People interested in commenting will get 3 minutes to offer their comments to the board at this time. Please identify yourself and the floor will be yours. Sir.
Okay, my name's Rob, excuse me,
unique circumstances, sir?
Well, he doesn't have a computer system of his own. He's at home, 94. It would just be nice if Roy could get emails from his daughter, granddaughter, great-granddaughter. That would be the extent of it.
Does he live closer?
Right next door. You could throw a stone and hit his house. But he can't get the one from Bethany. It's not close enough, but I believe this one maybe if we had access to it. That's the request. Comment.
Any questions of Mr. Roll? We are meeting next week. If the board would like to think about this and look into its feasibility.
It isn't something you need
It
to
isn't
take.
pressing at this moment, so we
No.
could, discuss it at one of our meetings next week, and if the board approves the request, we could get the word out to him,
Okay,
quickly.
good.
Is that acceptable to you?
Yes, definitely.
We will then, take it up as an agenda item when we convene around the budgets.
Very good.
Thank
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. What's his name again? Roy Dahl, D-A-H-L. Your neighbor, right?
The yellow house.
Yeah, I know his daughter, you know, so.
Sue.
Yeah, and that's, you know, if he could somehow connect with our, Katie, his granddaughter, you know, he would, at his point in time, you know, it'd be nice.
But he did indicate he's 94 years old?
Yes,
Thank you.
but no internet connection at all. But they gave him a thing to play games. I thought if we could get an email signal and I could teach how to,
Write a letter,
yeah, then they could have a little more interaction with.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We should have an answer for you next week. Very good, appreciate it. Thank you. There's still an opportunity for others to offer public comment before I call for a motion to adjourn. Would anybody else like to address the board at this time?
I would like to make a comment, Mark. This is Kristen.
Please, the floor is yours for 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. I'll try to speak quickly. First, I'd like to thank Cindy Barth for speaking up on behalf of uninterrupted public comment. It was jarring to be interrupted, and I do request to be able to make my comment without interruption. So, thank you, Cindy. I'd also like to thank Mark for his time today. We did speak twice. We spoke this morning about some concerns that I had, and then you called me this afternoon to let me know that the meeting materials were posted, and I wanted to thank you for that. I would like to note that, as I mentioned in the water board meeting, the importance of the timely posting of the notifications. And I would like to ask that they be entered into the public record, that there have been 3 meetings this week, if you count the Board of Review, the water board meeting, and this meeting. So 2 if you consider this one meeting, and 3 if you consider them separate, that were not posted accurately to meet the requirements. And I'd like it noted, you're welcome to say that you have addressed the issue as soon as you came to your attention. But I have had some challenges with obtaining information regarding to the meetings in a timely fashion. So I'm requesting that to be added. And to say that when the more information that's provided, it's a help to the community. It helps me, it helps the people that I'm sharing information with. It really helps like the community. I just can't say that enough. So I am encouraging that to happen. I've had some issues with receiving emails back, posting notifications, receiving emails of notifications, etc. And as we turned the page from 2020, I started noticing that in January and February. And so as we're coming into March, I did send everyone on the board an email showing that I'm starting to chart what's happening in each meeting so that we can record that. And my hope is that we clear this up and that the public has access to the information. I was inspired to add the category of the meeting interruptions because we did have that at this meeting. So my hope is that we don't have those occur. I'm just glancing through my notes here. It looks like I spoke quickly enough, and I think that's it. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Does anyone else wish to address the board at this time?
This is Cindy Barrett. I would like to say I appreciate Mark not allowing public comments to be interrupted. Whether or not whatever people have to say, they should not be interrupted. Thank you, Mark.
Would anyone else like to comment before I call for the meeting to be adjourned? Hearing none, thank you everyone for participating tonight. We have received your feedback, those of you that have offered comment. It is now 7:34. I would ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion, Don.
Mr. Wareham moves that we adjourn. Is there support for the motion?
Support. Aaron?
We have support. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, please indicate by saying aye.
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 We stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.